And there's a lot of misconception out there. Like people think like, oh, you go to my website, you get pixel. I know like Carlos Barquin came to my website, and I have no idea who that person is.
Facebook knows who you are.
Like Google, they know who you are, and they just magically show you the ad.
And not only going to show it to you, they're going to probably show it to other dance schools.
Yeah, 100%.
That are doing the same thing.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
If you come to my website, right, because you're looking for dance classes,
if you're not paying for ads,
there's another studio running ads.
They're gonna show them.
100%. They're gonna use the interest in my site. You coming to my site is a signal to them that you're interested in dance classes.
So they're gonna show the people that are paying
when your
them.
Competitor is running ads. And they don't have your perfect, they're trying to figure out what audience they're going to show your ads to. They're going to use my data.
So if they take your data, but if you're not buying the ads, that data of a customer went to you is going to get sold to someone else.
Yeah,
and they'll steal your customer.
So that's the pay. 100%. That's what you're talking about, the pay to play.
Yeah.
So you can live organically, which is great, but then you're going to have that situation where the people that are paying are going to get the ad.
They're going to get the benefit.
They're going to get the benefit, right?
So welcome back to Storytellers. I see we got new mugs.
Yeah.
Actually, we traded our mugs.
Yeah, because this is the 4th episode we drink.
And you keep doing that, you're going to spill it.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I've had so much coffee today.
Yeah, but you know the story of this cafecito?
I'm afraid.
You don't know the story?
Yeah, I do, but the public doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you tell them the stroll that you took in the park today?
So we have a little cafeteria a block away from the studio, and it's a little hot outside. I'm like, I'm just going to take the car to get coffee.
But you always walk there.
I always walk there. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to take the car. So I go in the car, I park, get the cafecito, I get a tequeño as well, start walking back, eating the tequeño. And then I get to the studio and I realize I left my car over there. So I had to walk back to the cafeteria block.
So you walked twice.
I walked twice to get the car. But if I wouldn't have done that, I would have run into this, which I want to show you.
Oh boy, I'm afraid.
Put your lenses on. Only indeed.
Put my lenses on.
Okay, check this out. Only indeed.
What did it say?
Read it out loud.
Por favor, remover su vehículo de este espacio. Necesita utilizar por la persona que paga la renta.
Is that like a...
That is.
So it was
and
worth the walk. And they put their
phone number, which we won't.
Yeah, so it was worth the walk. Anyway,
So anyways, let's get to our podcast today. Today we have a very special guest, Rafael Savino. It's a little different. Oh, thank you. Yes, I did better like that. Well, I don't know. So we have Rafael Savino here today. Welcome to our podcast. There we go. So a little bit different of a guest today. We have a real business person. We don't have somebody that just does content for other people, agencies, which is what we've had, and other creators. We have somebody that's actually started a business, built a business from nothing, and has some corporate background experience in Amazon and other big corporations. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
I know you started your dance studio in 2013 along with your beautiful wife. And you've grown it into quite a business. You are a client of mine as well. So thank you for coming.
Thanks so much, guys, for inviting me. So yeah, I mean, we started back very little. Like we had absolutely no students. Like the prototypical story, like you open the doors and there's absolutely no one to show up, right? So slowly but surely, we started implementing, marketing techniques and some of the stuff that I learned in big companies, kind of like the processes that you use and kind of mirror that but at a smaller scale, and slowly but surely we were able to. I mean, 15 years later, we have 300 students. I mean,
so you're kind of a self-declared tech nerd. I know we've kind of used that phrase. So you're definitely more in touch with technology than the general public. Tell us of how you started this business, because you pretty much built this business from zero to what it is today, which is a pretty good sized studio, 100% with the tools that are online, marketing, content, everything that we talk about.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much I had the same struggle that a lot of small business owners have. It's like we didn't have a lot of budget, right? So at that point, and back in the day, like we didn't have the option of running an ad in the newspaper or a magazine. Like those things were too expensive. And around the time when we opened the studio was when Facebook was kind of opening up their platform for advertising. Okay. And definitely Google was around, right? But that was a little more technical. Like you have to figure that Google AdWords was a little more difficult to figure out. So we started with Facebook ads because it was easy to just take a picture and then you pretty much selected the targeting and you can show your ads to pretty much that ideal person, right? So yeah, I mean, we started with digital technologies because we were forced to. That's what we could afford, but at the same time, that was kind of like the beginning of an era where pretty much a beginning of a total transformation, right? And the tools were really effective. Like you being able to, like I didn't have to, if you think about it, I was showing the ads to the perfect person at the right time. It's not like, oh, you have a billboard in the Palmetto, right?
Just hopefully that somebody sees it and it's interested in your product.
Right. It's like you hope that a mom with a little girl drives by
and happens to want to dance.
Exactly. Right. So with the detailed targeting, right, you could show it to the mom with the girl that is searching or is actively watching dance videos or it's interacting with dance brands, right?
That was the beginning of that.
That was at the beginning. That was at the beginning.
The whole pixel thing, right?
Yes.
Which I want you to talk about it.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, I mean, for us as a small business and starting up, that was huge. That was amazing because then the little budget that we had, we could use it effectively, So yeah, I mean, that's how we kind of got going.
So because I know the tools are still there. I mean, we still have Facebook, we still have Instagram, we still have a way to create content and put ads on it. How has that changed over the years from 2013 when you started to today, 2026?
So, I mean, the platforms they have evolved into more of a pay-to-play kind of situation, right? Where, so initially organic content, had a lot more reach. And this change as new platforms come and they evolve. But for example, right now, or I guess maybe a year or 2 years ago, TikTok was the Wild West, right? Like you will upload a clip and just set it and forget it, and it might just go viral, right? And you get a lot of the reach for free, right? But as these platforms mature, right, they want to monetize the platform, right?
Of course.
And at that point, that's when it becomes pay to play, right? So early on, Facebook, right, and this is before they even acquire Instagram. Everyone was on Facebook, right? And you could get a lot of organic reach without paying. As soon as they started monetizing the platform, yes, you didn't have to have a big following in order to show your content to other people, but you had to pay now, right? So,
but it's still a lot less than traditional media.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you couldn't have afforded to put a commercial on TV anyway.
Exactly. Well, and that's the other thing, right? Like in the case of a small business, right? You run an ad in the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, there's people in Wyoming watching your ad, and it's like, okay, great, good for you. Like I'm not gonna go to Miami or whatever. So definitely, I guess it's not a branding play, right? Like this is more of a lead capture, like people that are actively looking for your services.
It has to be intentional, and it has to...
It's demand capture, right?
Right.
As opposed to demand generation, which is kind of what you would do with branding in a way, right? So anyhow, as the platforms evolve, right, you have to adapt, right, to be able to, pay, to be able to use the platform effectively, right? So when we started with Facebook, it was the beginning of their monetization phase, right? And then they acquired Instagram, right? And it took them a little bit to kind of like integrate
Figure it
Facebook
out,
and
yeah.
Instagram and everything. But eventually, you know, it became pay to play as well until TikTok came out, right? So, but TikTok had a completely different approach, right? It's not a follow based approach. It's more, what are you interested, right? And then we'll show you content that is similar to what you've been seeing, right?
But isn't Instagram kind of working that in that way now? Because I feel like whatever I'm looking at is what I'm going to be shown. If I'm looking at political stuff, it's going to show me political stuff. If I'm looking at dogs, it's going to give me dogs, and so on and so forth. Has it shifted then?
Yeah, of course. That's a complete reaction to what TikTok did, right? And if you want to take it a step back, that's the way YouTube worked or works, right? Technically, YouTube they have everything to be TikTok. They just didn't execute correctly, right? But yeah, it's all based on interest, and what is AI now is what they used to call machine learning back in the day, right? It's like the algorithm figuring out what are your interests, what do you like, and then just feeding you more of that. Right?
So would you say it's easier now for, let's say you're not going to run ads. Let's say you are a service-based business, and you want to create content. Is it easier today because you're feeding people that are interested in your content compared to, let's say, 5-10 years ago?
I mean, I think you can be more effective with your money, right? Because you can start organic, right? And you can generate a lot of content organic that is not necessarily really high quality, right? Because that's the other thing. The platforms are looking for that very raw, kind of native content.
Organic. They want it to look organic.
Right. You can generate a lot of that content, see what works, and then once you find that, you know, big blue whale, then you double down with paid if you want to, right? So it's definitely a little simpler because you don't, or more effective because you don't have to pay
to test it.
You know,
before you had to basically pay to test, and then if it worked, then you pay more to keep going.
Exactly.
Now you can test your content organically. If it does well, then you can use it as
right.
an ad.
And now with AI, right, content generation is simpler because it helps you. The AI is going to help you one way or the other. A lot of people think that it's like, oh, you just come up with the AI is going to do everything for you, but not necessarily. You can have the AI kind of generate the script for you, right? Or you can have the AI kind of help you frame a specific problem or something that you're trying to show your customers, like, yeah, we solved that problem, right? So the AI can help a lot in the planning, not necessarily the execution,
the strategy,
right?
Basically.
The strategy, what you're trying to do. So whenever you hire someone to help you with the content, you can provide them with a clear picture. Okay, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, right? And then that's a totally different conversation as when you start from scratch. Like, you know, I'll come and hire you. I have no idea what to do, right? Then a lot of that burden is like, okay, you have to like interview me and kind of get that out of me, right? Because I mean, you have the experience, right?
Right.
But now a customer can come to you and be like, okay, I kind of did this brainstorm, and then, you know, someone that works in the industry can like polish it and create it, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think AI it's a you know, it will solve. You don't have to do anything; it will do it for you. No, it's more of another tool that you have in your, you know, in your repertoire, right? To make your content effective. And to do content at scale, right? Because the more content you do, the more you can test, the more you can see what works, and then, you know, you always have the option to double down with pay.
Has your strategy changed like over the years, or it's kind of you doing the same thing? I mean,
our business is very seasonal, right? So I know there's specific times in the year where I have to double down on ads, right? Or on content, or the kind of content that we're generating, right? So, for example, right now we're kind of prepping for our recitals, right? A lot of our content is going to be around, you know, our recital from last year, right? But in general, the type of content is like we have to cater to two audiences at the same time. It's the kid that wants to dance, right? And then the parent there is the one
They're
making the financial commitment, right? So you have to cater to both. So I don't think our strategy has changed dramatically, but we can be more effective, because it's the other issue that you run with a small business, right? Is you have limited resources and you have limited time, and usually there's one or two people who are doing absolutely everything. So if you become more effective, right, at one specific task, that frees you up
to do other stuff.
A lot of businesses struggle with getting the return. So they create good content, it gets a lot of visibility, but it doesn't convert to either a sale or a service call or somebody to actually pick up the phone and sign up. What do you do to get that piece of content that you created that got engagement to turn around into a customer?
So that's an area that, again, small business struggle, because yes, you create all the content and the content is great, but do you have a way to capture the details of that person, right? So for example, in our specific case, we're a service business, right? Like we don't have a product to show, right? So our product is not tangible,
right?
Okay.
But it's visual.
But yes, but it takes a while, right? Like if I get a 3-year-old that has absolutely no experience before, it does take them a little bit to kind of, even though for your daughter, she always is going to be
a perfect answer.
A perfect answer. It does take them a little bit, right, to kind of get going. So what's super important, and kind of going back to the point, is like when someone is inquiring about your services, is capture their information. Okay, being able to reach out to them, right? Like they show interest, right? But then you're competing with another 10 other studios, right? That are probably within 5-mile radius of your studio. So if you're not able to follow up with that lead at the right time, chances are they forgot about you and they're going to go to the studio down the road, right?
Right.
So having their information and being able to follow up with them and remind them, for example, they sign up for a trial class. You got to remind them when they're going to come. People are busy. You can't just assume that, yes, they put it on their calendar, they have an alarm the day before, and they're going to call you and ask you all the questions. Like, that's not going to happen.
But do you have a strategy? For example, somebody sees a video of yours and they're thinking, well, maybe my daughter, that's something that I want to do with my daughter and put her in, and they just follow you. Do you have a way of capturing or a strategy that somebody that follows you to get back to them and say, oh, because I've seen online, sometimes I hit like on a video or I follow somebody who makes drinks.
Right.
And then I'll get a message, hey, I saw you're interested in my content, and they'll send me a message. Is that something you have tried? Or
the thing is, like, for us, it's kind of tricky, right? Because then I might have an underage or a minor follow us, right? So it's like, are you gonna, like you kind of have to be careful, right?
And you can't automate that.
You can't automate that.
I think it can be automated. In our case, you have to be careful, right? Because I don't necessarily want an AI making the decision who to reach out to.
Right.
And what to say.
Yes, and what to say and what to ask, right? So we're a little more careful when it comes to that. I guess we're not as aggressive, okay?
Right.
But it's just the nature of what we do that you have to be careful.
But a bare minimum for the mom and pop store, whether it's a service or whether it's a small boutique, what is the bare minimum that I know people get a little bit overwhelmed. I have the content. If they need me, they can find me. What's the bare minimum to get those captures, those lead captures?
At a minimum, just set up a free Google form on your website where you just ask either for an email or a name or a phone number, right? And then it's not only asking for that, but then just having the ability to follow up, right? Like if someone fills out the form and, they're interested in your cakes or whatever
you don't do anything with it,
right? And you don't do anything, then it's pointless, right? But if someone fills out the form, right, just call them up, send them an email. Like, how can we help you solve your problems. Because at the end of the day, that person filled out the form because they had a problem, or there's something,
or
that
an
they're
interest,
or an interest.
Yeah.
There's something that they're trying to solve. If whether I want my kid to learn how to swim, or learn how to dance, or play baseball, or whatever, right? So don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call them, or send them a message.
Yeah, there's nothing like personal.
Right. At the end of the day, that's I know parents value that. And me as a parent, I strongly value that. Like if I'm going to put my child in some sort of, class, I want to know who's teaching. I want to make sure there's a human behind that screen, So, yeah, at a minimum that. Now, that's the bare minimum, right? Like,
or at least follow up once.
Yeah.
Then there's
on average, we need to have between 10 to 15 touch points with a customer before they convert.
Really?
Is there an easy way to put that in motion, to automate? I know you're big on automation and you're up here. But for, again, going back to the general public that has a small business, what can they do? I mean, I know that there's email campaign software.
Right. So at a minimum, email, right? But I think a lot of software and a lot of CRMs nowadays enable that possibility, right? So you probably have some sort of software that is helping you manage your business, right? Whether it is QuickBooks because you have your accounting in there, or you're doing your invoicing in there, right? QuickBooks kind of serves as a double-edged sword, right? That could be a tool for keeping your accounting, but at the same time
for marketing
and managing leads, right? And I think they recently last year they acquired MailChimp, right? So so a lot of the integrations like QuickBooks can give you a lot, for in one platform, right? And that's without complicating yourself trying to push data from between multiple platforms. But in general, the CRMs are able to help you with that basic automation. It doesn't have to get fancy. A lot of them, they just have flows that you build and you're able to accomplish that.
Just follow up, on day 1, on day 5, on day 7. If they sign up for a class, then there should be something else.
Or if they didn't sign up, why? And sometimes,
feedback,
right? Sometimes it's not that you did something wrong. It's just maybe the schedule didn't work out for them, right? Or I don't know.
People get busy.
Whatever,
maybe they have the
something
they
changed.
need that little push.
Exactly, So you want to understand why. If they did all the work to come to your studio and try the class and
nothing happened,
something probably happened. Maybe you're too far away. Your marketing was so effective, right?
Maybe
that you capture someone that was out of your their service area, right? Like how far they're willing to drive to go to your business, right? On a regular basis. So they simply said, I need something closer. But you want to know that, right? Because then that helps you fine tune your strategy, and maybe you need to close the radio of your marketing campaigns, right?
Right.
So it's just feedback. That's the other thing. Like a lot of people think that this is like set it and forget it. No, it's not.
You constantly have to be tweaking it.
Yes. And you constantly need to be learning, right? From what you're doing, right? And why are people taking the actions that they're taking, so you can fine tune your strategy. The other thing, right, that's kind of a byproduct of having that lead capture or form on your website is that a lot of these platforms, right, they're able to find customers are similar to your current customers, right? But you need to feed them with something, right? So if you have a phone number or you have an email that you can upload and let Meta match it with their, their in their audience and find people who are similar to your customers, that's huge.
So the lookalike audience is still a thing?
Oh, 100%. The lookalike, but it's a combination, right? It's the lookalike audiences, is traffic coming into your website that you're pixeling, right?
Right, which is that still a thing?
Oh, 100%.
So I mean, that's basically redirection. That's basically somebody went to your website, now they're on Instagram, now they're going to see your ad, right?
Exactly. And there's a lot of misconception out there. Like people think like, oh, you go to my website, you get pixel. I know like Carlos Barquin came to my website, and I have no idea who that person is.
Facebook knows who you are.
Like Google, they know who you are, and they just magically show you the ad.
And not only going to show it to you, they're going to probably show it to other dance schools.
Yeah, 100%.
That are doing the same thing.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
If you come to my website, right, because you're looking for dance classes,
if you're not paying for ads,
there's another studio running ads.
They're going to show them.
Better 100%. They're going to use the interest in my site. To show them. You coming to my site is a signal to them that you're interested in dance classes.
So they're going to show the people that are paying
when your
them.
Competitor is running ads and they don't have your perfect, they're trying to figure out what audience they're going to show your ads to. They're going to use my data.
So if they take your data, but if you're not buying the ads, that data of a customer went to you is going to get sold to someone else.
Yeah,
and they'll steal your customer.
So that's the pay. 100%. That's what you're talking about, the pay to play.
Yeah.
So you can live organically, which is great, but then you're going to have that situation where the people that are paying are going to get
they're going to get the benefit.
They're going to get the benefit, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's a fair.
At the end of the day, everybody needs to make a buck. So
and again, there's a lot of privacy concerns with this and all that, and they've been
sued.
But that's the reality that we have to deal with, right? So I have friends that told me, no, I don't have a pixel running on my website because now they're using that to
right, because you don't want them to use that data,
but at the end of the day,
pick your poison.
Right. If you don't have it, you're not able to optimize your campaigns, right?
But the pixel only works if you're paying for ads, correct?
So the pixel is always collecting data.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't show them unless if you're paying for an ad to redirect them.
Yes,
so if you're not going to pay for ads,
they're using that, they're feeding that information into their AI, and that's one of the signals that they use to determine who to show ads to, right?
And for the person that doesn't know with the pixel, can you explain to us in layman's terms?
In third grade terms.
In third grade, in 30 seconds or less.
Yes.
What is a pixel and how does it work?
So a pixel is just 3 lines of code that you put on your website that is constantly sending information to Facebook or
whatever you tie it to.
Right. And all it's doing is just saying, so here's the thing. You're always logged into your Gmail, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, any other properties where you have an app that is installed on your phone or on your computer, it doesn't really matter where you are. They're going to be able to identify you.
And where you're going and what you're seeing.
And what you're speaking. I'm convinced.
I mean, it's not magic, right? Like you're talking about something and then magically.
Right. The phone is here. We talk about something. I open up and the first ad that I get.
They have never, it's never been a targeting, they don't have option. But I mean,
it's obvious.
I don't think they have ever said oh, yes, we do that.
Well, but it's obvious.
But be careful what you say.
Oh, 100%.
That's a topic. We went off topic, but 100%. We talk about. Okay. I was talking about him about a wine that we had tasted. I get home and I get an ad for that specific wine. There's thousands and thousands of brands of wine. Why did I get that specific wine?
Well, but also, right? There's a flip side to if you're talking about wine, chances are you were searching and doing some other.
I was at a friend's house. He offers me a glass of wine. He goes, "Have you tried this?" And I'm like, "Oh, actually, I've never heard about it. Oh, it's really good. I just picked it up." I get home. I open Facebook. This is a few years ago. This is
100%.
And
100%.
I'm like, a wine that I've never heard of. So, but anyway, that's happened to me 1,000 times. I've already given up.
It is what it is. They're listening to you.
Yeah.
I will not put my hands on fire.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I'm convinced.
I am
100%
and this is someone that refuses to put TikTok on their phone.
Yeah.
But yet, your phone is listening to you, so I don't think I would worry.
I know. So going back to the pixel.
Okay. So basically the pixel tracks you and basically you use it for. Okay. So let's talk about content. what type of content is working for you? And does a good piece of content always convert? Or it's two separate things? Does the content have to be intentional if you're trying to sell?
I mean, that kind of goes back to just something I mentioned earlier. It's like, are you doing branding or are you doing direct response, right? And that's something that you kind of have to pick, like what the purpose of the content
that specific piece of content,
right? So again, for us, when I like a lot of the branding, it for us at least, it happens with the younger kids. It's like, okay, they want to see, you want to show them that you're a cool studio, right? But then more of the direct response or like more architected campaigns are for the parents, right? So for example, right now we're kind of building up for our summer camps, right? As a parent, right, you're very concerned that wherever you're dropping off your kid, it's a safe place, right? That, you know, staff is background checked, right? That, you know, there no random person is going to pick them up. That it's a reputable, you know, business in your community. And you can just leave that to the user to figure out.
It's a chance. Yeah. You have to basically put it out there.
Put it out there. Like, yes, we background check our staff. We have a secure facility. You know, look at our Google profile and the reviews that people have left and all those things. Like, you have to showcase that, right? So your content should
be intentional,
right? And show it. Now, would the kids care about that? Probably not.
But would that be an organic or a paid campaign when you do that?
I test organic, and if I see a good you know, response or views, then I pay for it. You know, again, and it's a lot of testing. You know, and that's where I'm really excited about AI, because before, limited resources, right? Now AI can help me narrow down and test more pieces, you know, before I go down a rabbit hole, right? Because I mean, to me, all my campaigns look great, but I don't.
You're a little biased.
You're not,
right?
You're not.
But that doesn't mean that they're gonna resonate with everyone, or the parents, or the kids, or whatever. And honestly, I've been taking. I take, especially when we're trying to market to like, oh, you're the cool studio. I ask my students, right, and I ask for help on that, because at the end of the day, I'm not their age, right, and I don't necessarily know what's cool for them anymore.
What's slay? It's not called cool anymore. It's called slay.
Slay.
Sure.
Yeah. According to my 11-year-old.
So, you know, like, you have to ask them, right? And again, they don't have, I'm not going to ask an 11-year-old, but then I do have quite a few teenagers, right? That are more than willing to sit for an hour with me and talk about, you know, what they like and what they use and trends, you know? Because again, the algorithm is so specific that TikTok or Instagram is not going to show me what they show them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to ask them. You have to be creative on that. And if you have access to them, like, you know, I need a 15-year-old feed. Two dancers in my studio, their feed is going to be very similar. Mine is going to be very different.
Of course, it's based on your.
So,
and how using AI? You say now using AI to be more productive. How are you using AI to do that?
The way I use it personally is like, sometimes I don't understand why they go to certain platforms or why they do, you know, what they're doing. So, in a way, for me, that's a lot of research. It's like, oh, here's this new platform or whatever that they're using. I'll just ask AI, like, or, you know, Chat GPT, or even though I don't use Chat much.
Yeah, I know.
We'll get into that
now. But I'll ask Gemini or Claude. It's like, what is this all about? And then in 2 seconds, I know exactly what the platform is about and why it's trendy or cool for kids, you know?
Right.
for that week.
Yeah, of course. That's the other problem, right? It changes so fast and so quick that, I mean, I'm not able to keep up, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be a user of that platform either. You know, I just want to understand.
You just need to know the tool.
Right. Like, I just need to know.
How you can leverage it.
I mean, funny enough, like, before TikTok was TikTok, in the US, it was called Musical.ly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Musically, so TikTok bought Musically, and all the kids at the studio use Musically. I knew about Musically for a while, and then TikTok acquired them, and then they just exploded. Yeah, wow. They just changed the name, but it was exactly the same platform. The same.
Does pay-per-click is still a thing? It still works?
Oh.
Search?
I mean, right now there's a lot of buzz around like, oh, AI, like Google is dying, and, you know, like ads in ChatGPT and all this. All that is great, and yes, probably a lot of people have decreased their use of Google, and it's being replaced by AI, right? But whenever you're looking for something that you want to buy, something that you need, probably you're gonna Google it still, you know.
And for reviews,
for how long? I mean, that's the question.
Well, but at the same time, they're a big player in AI too.
They're in
right?
Gemini.
And a lot of people are like, oh, but Gemini is not as popular as ChatGPT. But then, have you seen the AI overviews that are coming up in Google
when you
search?
Google something, the first thing that comes out is Gemini.
So it's still there.
Oh, 100%.
So even if you're Googling, you're
Geminiing it.
You're still AI. You're still
using
it.
Of course. So pay-per-click, it's gonna change, right? And it's already evolving, right? Because the other thing you have to keep in mind is pay-per-click, the way it was traditionally set up, it was like, okay, you search for a specific keyword. The first 3 blue links, that's the way they call them, were ads, where Google is charging if you click on that, right? And then below those 3 or 4, I mean, it has to change over time, but before those, after those 3, then the organic results show up.
Right.
Now, right, it's the AI overview, and it depends on the query, right? Like they're doing a lot of like I'm very, very intentional. You know, they classify queries as queries with commercial intent, queries that are just informational, right? And their results vary depending on how they classify the query that you're putting into the search box. But for a commercial intent query, right? Now people are expecting that AI overview there. And that means that the 3 blue links are further down, right? And not necessarily easily accessible to you, right? So yes, in a way, they're cannibalizing their own business, but they have to do it. Mm-hmm. They have to do it. Otherwise,
ChatGPT is gonna eat them alive.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like,
and the other
what do they prefer? That Gemini gets the use, or ChatGPT will take their business, right? And they will eventually find a way to monetize this. Like,
But do you think
we're super early on this, right?
But do you think eventually, and we'll get into the AI and the LLMs, do you think eventually when you do a search or a question on, like for example, you go to ChatGPT, hey, I'm in Orlando area and I want to go to a barbecue restaurant. What do you recommend? Do you think eventually it's going to show you paid ads and then organic? So it's going to be Google, but in an LLM, you think eventually?
Yes, 100%. And I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Claude and the company behind Claude, that is Anthropic, all their the Super Bowl commercials were making fun of OpenAI and their strategy to monetize this, right? They're super funny. If you can go, a lot of people miss them because
I gotta look for that. I didn't see that.
This is a lot of like nerdy stuff, right? But I saw that and I'm like, whoa, that was funny. Yeah, but it was funny for the nerds.
Yeah. For the smart people.
But I mean, the fact that they picked the Super Bowl to make fun of OpenAI is like.
Well, talking about that, let's talk about OpenAI, because I know you're no longer a big fan of ChatGPT.
You've moved on. You
literally have a sticker on your computer
that you thought was a flower.
That I thought was a flower, and it's not a flower. So why
Claude?
Why Claude? Why is everybody transitioning?
So don't get me wrong. Like ChatGPT is still really good. Right, and for example,
still relevant to
100%. And ChatGPT they have the first mover advantage, right? That's the brand that people recognize, right? And they're gonna hang around, right? Why did I move away from them? first of all, I have to reduce the number of tools that I'm paying for,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Subscriptions.
Yeah, you know. So I currently pay for Gemini and I pay for Claude, right? But then a lot of the work that I'm doing, right? Claude and Anthropic have they're ahead in terms of their coding tools and their automation tools, right? Like they decided not to fight with OpenAI for the consumer, like the B2B. They're more B2C, right? So they're marketing more towards your developers and business people that want business processes being automated and all that, right? So in early on, they figure out, okay, OpenAI kind of have a first mover advantage. We're not going to fight with them head to head for that segment. We're just going to go to the business. We're going to go to the enterprise. And the upside for them is that if you start using, the LLMs, they get better over time and they get better with more use, right? So with coding tools specifically, a lot of developers started using Cloud Code, which is their coding product. So the tool became good, really, really, really good, right? So they kind of capture that segment, right? And they kind of, as of today, I think Google is there, but Google has piles of cash, right? So they don't have to worry about, how they're burning money. But OpenAI and Anthropic, they're funded by investments, right? And now Anthropic is in a position where they're like, okay, we're generating a ton of cash because we went after the enterprise. OpenAI went after the consumer segment, which is profitable. It's not as profitable as enterprise. And recently, I don't know if you guys heard, but Sora, they shut down Sora.
Right, I saw that.
And that's a reaction that we have to.
Why did they close down Sora?
I think it was too expensive, probably for them, right? So and they had to pick their battles, right? They're trying. Imagine they're trying to fight with Google in the video front, right? Then they're trying to fight with or compete, not fight.
Compete
with Anthropic on the coding front. Then in the image front, you have multiple. You have Midjourney. You have Google is a player there too, right? So in a way, yes, they have a lot of funding and they have money, but I think they also have to
figure out where they want to go.
Where they want to go, and and video generation is really expensive, and it takes a lot of resources, right?
A lot of credits.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So they kind of had to pick their battles, and they decided that video generation is not a vertical they want to go after at this moment.
So is OpenAI gonna be the next MySpace? That it was the first one, it was huge, and then Facebook ate it alive and disappeared.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
5 years down the road, things could be totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'll say though is I'll definitely see Google in the mix. Like Google's not going away. Google's not there.
So buy stock.
But OpenAI is...
and OpenAI, again, that first mover advantage is huge. They have a moat, right? And we were having this discussion earlier. It's like, I don't want to switch to Gemini or Claude because
ChatGPT really knows me. They know my business,
right?
Well, now you can export your data.
Right.
When I did it, and it took about 5 days for me to get it. So I don't know if they did it on purpose to see if I would forget that I wanted to export the data and switch over to Claude. So by the time I finally got the data,
you changed your mind.
No, I was like, como me enfrié, it's like that impulsivity. Oh, everybody's doing this. You keep dropping your papers.
I know.
And I haven't done it yet. I got the info and have you done that, by the way? Have you transferred your data over? Because a lot of people question, like, my relationship with ChatGPT has been already for a couple of years. You know so much about me. I have multiple chats. Do you, hook up with a girlfriend before you divorce the wife? But try to milk her for everything she's got.
And then feed it into the, train the new one. Like, how do you
to be honest, no, I didn't do it. And I didn't do it because I feel that I played so much with it early on.
Claude or Chat?
ChatGPT.
Okay.
I had a lot of junk in there that I don't
So
necessarily
you don't want it. You don't want to remember
Yeah,
those things.
I was like, if you can forget about that, then it's fine. You know?
But does Claude start building? Because I don't feel.
No,
it's
of course
the same.
it does.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Again, Claude. Go back to what I told you. Claude they have never been, or they're not as interested in the consumer segment, right? So I think as a chat tool, it's way less polished than ChatGPT.
Right.
However, that hasn't been their focus. They've been focused on enterprise, and when you go to their enterprise tools, they're way more polished than anyone else. Right.
So they have a different business.
So what
model.
would you use Chat for? If let's say you have the money to have both, or you're undecided, what application would you need? Would you use Chat for, and which one would you say, okay, this one is better for Claude? So for just
for another, or
you know,
Perplexity. I know Perplexity.
to plan your next vacation, would you use this one to create content for social media, to create a little story,
For strategy,
right. To plan? What would you use? What would
could you use one for everything, or is there still advantages?
I think if you want to have just one for absolutely everything, probably ChatGPT is the right. For a while, they kind of lag a little bit on image generation, but literally yesterday they released their new image generation.
ChatGPT?
Yes, and it's incredible. I mean, I haven't tested personally yet, but from what I've seen online, it's really good.
Try it.
So I think if you only have money to pay for one, and you just want it for like everyday use, not necessarily like business use, right? Then ChatGPT by all means. Now, a lot of people have Google, their Google subscription, right? Where they're already paying for like storage in Gmail because you have a bunch of junk in there. So you have to buy more storage. And what Google is doing is they're adding Gemini, right? Included.
When you upgrade.
To, I think they call it Google One. It's the name, right? So that's a way for them. I mean, they have distribution, right? So that's a way for them to hook you into Gemini.
For the first year, just like the phone.
but maybe you're already paying for it and you don't even know.
Yeah, I have some. I pay for Google Workspace and I have Gemini. I don't know if I have the same Gemini that you have if you're paying for it, but I have Gemini.
It's probably the same. It's probably the same, right? So then, if I were to do like something that is like I need to write, like, you know, like let's say I'm writing a book, right? And you want AI to help you with that. I think Claude is really good at that. You know. If you're coding a project, right, or you know, like you're trying to like something more technical, probably Claude. And then within Claude, there are different models, right? And not to get very technical, right? But you know, they have different models that you can pick
depending on what
you're trying to do, right?
Does it cost more?
Yes. Like for example, Opus 4.7 came out last week. And that's the most technical model they have available for.
That's more for
public.
Coding, though.
It's for more like reasoning task, and coding. Yes, it could be considered a reasoning task. But then they have other options like Haiku that is just cheaper, right? So if you're just asking like basic questions like why, it's like killing a mosquito with a shotgun. Same thing. You know,
in my case, I'll still miss. For video generation or photo generation or creating photos to then put a story together, visuals. What would you use, Claude, or you would still use something else?
With that,
Midjourney.
Higgsville?
No. Well, the thing is that
we're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
No, the thing
is,
I'm
just gonna grab a camera on my phone and film it myself.
Exactly.
No. I mean, for video generation, right? There's a lot of confusion because you have aggregators like Higgsville that give you access to all the models.
It's like a marketplace.
Right. So if you pay for Higgsville, you probably have access to VO2, VO3, the Chinese models, like other models that you're not even aware they exist, right? Like, for example, TikTok, they have seat dance, right?
Oh, okay.
So within Higgsville, you can get access to all of them in one interface.
Then what would you pick what would you get one versus getting Hicksville, which
Yeah,
gives you
how do
access
you?
to?
Well,
Right.
How does it work with the credits?
yeah, but Hicksville gives you. So you're there. You want to do a video of whatever.
Mhm.
Let's say you have a starting image. How do you know which AI tool is going to
That-
give you the best results? And they all cost different credits, and they
You
all.
have to
Trial
play
and
with-
error.
yeah,
So it's
trial
so
error,
literally
trial
there's
error.
not.
Because I mean, if you go to YouTube and you try to find a video, then they probably sponsor someone that is saying, "Oh,
This is the
you know,
best.
Kling
This
is
is
the
the best
best,
one.
or Vio is the best, or whatever," right?
And the second you do that, you're gonna start getting a bunch of ads on Instagram.
Yeah, they pixel you,
The
right?
rabbit
They
hole, the
pixel you.
rabbit hole. You can't get out of it.
So yes, you definitely you can go to Hicksville or one of those, and that's an aggregator where you can pick different models, right? Or you can go straight to the model. And the thing with the model maker, like Google or whatever,
Uh-huh.
you know, the thing though that some people don't realize is that sometimes if you go through the aggregator, since they have volume, they get cheaper rates.
So it's not more expensive.
It's not necessarily more expensive.
You would think if you go
You-
straight to the source, you're
it'll
going to
be
pay
cheaper,
less. But in this
right?
case,
If you have
it's-
access to 1, 2, and 3, and if
No,
let's say it's $20.
they aggregate the demand, right? So they have so much video generation that they're able to
right.
negotiate different rates with Google.
So you're
So
you're-
would anyone go
you're-
straight to the one source instead of going to one of these?
Again, I don't think it right now. There's like all this is so new, right? That people are kind of learning the ways of how this works.
Well,
right?
Hicksville is overwhelming. I mean, I signed up because you
Again,
told me to sign up,
that's-
and I
that's-
did, and I'm like, I don't even know where to click. It's
But
like
that's one of the reasons why you might just want to go to Google.
you just go to Google,
right? Because I just want, like, I'm trying to figure this out. And then all of a sudden, it's not only figuring out how to generate video and what the tool is able to do, but now I have to pick between 17 different models.
and there might be even 3 that are like 2.5, 3.0,
Right. And the same model
3.1.
might have 4 different versions. It's
Kind of
like,
like an opening.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why you will go direct to.
We can't even pick a table.
Yeah.
But anyhow, as far as going back to your question, so image generation, Nano Banana for me is really good. I mean, that's my go-to. I really want to check out what the new image model from OpenAI that kind of got released yesterday.
But that's just still not video.
That's still. And then video, you have a lot of options. Like for example, there's Kling, right? And that's a
Kling.
Chinese model maker that is
Mm-hmm.
Kling. That is really good, right? So, and then I mean, we can go down in a rabbit
There's so
hole.
many. There's so
There are
many.
just so many, and then you have the open source options where you can just install it in your machine and you don't have to pay, right? And do them.
But
But
by the time the show comes out, there's gonna be 5 new ones.
Yeah.
probably
So yeah. So basically, you just have to keep
Yeah.
testing because there's not a okay. This is the solution and that's it.
and you might find a solution this month, and then
And
next month
changes.
someone
Yes,
else comes
yes,
with something
we've-
new, and it is
we've-
100 times better.
We've talked about that. So it's
AI, I don't think AI is like a set it and forget it kind of situation. Like definitely, and we're in the early on. Like definitely not now. Maybe later when things like okay, definitely Google
Some
took
will
all
die
the
out.
video.
Some will die out eventually.
Right, the OpenAI was like it's kind of what happened with OpenAI. They were like, oh, we're not gonna play in video anymore, right?
Right.
So that's one less option, right? But we're still kind of in that early phase where they all trying to figure out even themselves what are they gonna focus on, right? So that's why AI is so overwhelming.
Right.
It's and the other thing, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's like the reason why we all feel that it's so overwhelming is because all these companies are pushing so many updates so regularly. But the reason why they're able to do that is because they're using their own
AI
tools
to come up
to
with new
code, right? So that senior engineer they had before that was able to push 1 update a month, now is able to push 10 updates a month.
Right.
And then if you have 10 of those guys,
100.
that's why the
You're-
rate of improvement is so high, right? Because these people know exactly what
They're
doing.
leveraging their own tool to
100%, 100%. So that's why we feel overwhelmed, because that's happening inside OpenAI, that's happening inside Google, that's happening inside of Anthropic, and you name it. I mean, there's even Grok. Like, people don't talk about this, but
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
but
Grok is the one.
Grok is the one from XAI.
From
There's
Elon
Elon Musk, and the entire Tesla self-driving. It's powered by AI, right?
It's crazy.
So, and most people like don't even know about Grok, and Grok is really good. They have all the X data or Twitter data to train their models on, right? And that's why people are like, oh my God, like this is so much.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. But I guess what I would say is just pick one. Like the fact that it's overwhelming doesn't mean that you shouldn't be trying it or learning it. And this is a discussion we had. It's like, you don't have to be at the cutting edge of absolutely everything.
You have to kind of like
you just have to
be in touch with it. So
go for it. Do it.
Yeah.
Because the longer you wait,
then you're gonna
then the harder it's gonna be for you to understand. Like,
and the train's gonna pass.
Right. So I mean, a lot of people are like scared, like, oh, like AI is gonna replace me, and there are certain jobs that yes, it will inevitably happen.
It's gonna shift jobs to something else.
Right.
It's like before computers compared to after computers.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Yes, computers did replace some people.
And then people are able to leverage the tool and AI correctly. They're just gonna become more productive, more valuable, and you're gonna have a job.
They're just gonna shift.
They're just gonna. It might be different. It will look very different from what you're doing now. But I don't think it's just gonna replace absolutely everything. And you just have to, don't be afraid to test it, and kind of play with it. And the other thing is, like, this is so user friendly that yes, it might sound intimidating, like AI and all but I mean, the tools are very user friendly.
Yeah.
It's just a box.
And you're not coding, you're telling it what to do.
You're speaking. This is natural language, and you're telling it, I want you to do this. And then it goes and works out its magic, right? And then it does it, So, but again, people are afraid of technology. There are multitude of other things that go into why would I try this new thing or whatever, right? Because
if you don't, it's gonna leave you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not gonna stop because you don't.
This is not stopping anytime soon.
Going back to the basics, if you had to give an advice to somebody who's starting a business or wants to start marketing a business on social media, what one or two pieces of advice would you give someone to get their business out there and get content and be recognized?
I mean, I'll say nowadays, I think TikTok is just a crucial platform, and I'm kind of, I wish I had more time to play more with it. Okay, but TikTok is still up at a point in which you can test a lot of things organically without having to pay. So I'll definitely start there. Instagram, you have to be there.
In TikTok, does it matter who you're selling to? Or everybody, it's valid for any business?
Thing is, like, no, I think the platform is big enough where
everybody's there at some level.
I mean, if you think about it, there are a lot of like the so-called gurus, right? That are selling on TikTok their courses and whatnot, and that is not geared towards a little dance video. Like, these people are teaching you how to use Claude in TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Or so I think the platform. I mean, last time I checked, they had like 800 million users or something like that.
Yes, it's nuts.
So everyone is on TikTok.
Except for him.
I can barely manage two. If there's one platform that you say is not giving a return on investment.
In time, because technically a lot of these platforms you can use it for free. But is there something you would say, I wouldn't use this anymore because I don't have the time?
I mean, if you're marketing to like younger crowds, probably Facebook. It's not like a lot of my students, they don't even have Facebook. As a matter of fact,
the parents do.
Right, but if you're not marketing to the parents, and
In your case, you are, so it's valid.
Right.
But if you're not,
I mean, I remember it used to be like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's like, oh, when I wanted to reach the parents, I'll go through Facebook. When I wanted to reach the kids, I'll go to Instagram.
now it's TikTok.
Exactly.
Now it's TikTok and Instagram.
And even Instagram.
Now the moms, right, and the older crowd had an Instagram, and all the kids went
On
to TikTok.
Yeah.
But now even the older crowds are in TikTok, right? So I'll say if you have to pick and choose, maybe Facebook as a platform on its own, not necessarily Meta. I don't want you to leave out Instagram. Right. I'll say that's the one that is more mature, in a way. But the other two, you have to pay attention to it.
We end all our podcast episodes with a rapid fire series of questions. So we're going to go through these, and this is like your initial response, your first answer that comes to mind. There may be some where you feel like you need to answer both, but we'll go with it. All right. So Mandy will start.
Get me in trouble.
Exactly. No, they're all rated G. Okay.
For creativity, early morning or late night?
Early morning.
Growth or stability?
Growth.
Podcast or music?
Podcast.
Systems. I know this answer, but I'll ask it anyways. Systems or creativity?
Systems.
Of course.
Done or perfect?
Done.
I know the answer to this one, but I'll ask it anyways. Claude or perplexity?
Oh, Claude.
Views or engagement?
Engagement.
Big risk or small wins? Small wins.
Multiple wins.
Small wins.
Instinct or data?
Data.
More content or better content?
More content.
Yeah.
Automate or manual?
Duh. Automate.
Duh. We shouldn't have asked them. Short term or long term?
Long term.
Marketing or operations?
Marketing.
Okay. Build fast or plan longer? We struggle with that every time we talk because you're trying to build stuff, but sometimes it takes time.
With AI nowadays, plan longer.
Okay.
Read a book or watch a video?
Watch a video.
Okay, and then this is just it's a specific question for you because you come from a different place than some of our other guests. If you had to give a small business, maybe a mom and pop similar to you, one piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Start early. Don't wait. Try. Because sometimes we second guess ourselves too much. And I remember when we started the studio, I was a little more hesitant about it. And Valentina one day was just like, I'm just going to do it. And if it wasn't because of that and her determination that I'm not going to go get a job, this is what I want to do, the studio wouldn't have started, right? So just do it. Just do it because life is too short. And if you don't want to live thinking like, what if, right? Yeah. And a lot of people and I know that's hard when you have a solid corporate job, cushy.
When you have kids.
When you have kids and you have a family and you have a house and mortgage to pay and all those things. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. But if you're good at what you do, you'll be able to find a job again. And you're the only one that is you need to bet on yourself. And yeah, so, but again, all the credit and all the props to Valentina because she was the one that said, I'm going to do it with or without you.
And you supported her. So that,
I helped her. And then, 10 years later, this is all I do. Right. So I would have never in a million year guessed that I was going to be running a dance studio.
Yeah.
Never.
I know how you feel. I never thought I was going to be photographing dancers either. So it goes with territory. Well, thank you very much, Rafael, for joining us. I think we got a lot of great content for.
I mean, I'm available anytime. I love this kind of discussion. So
awesome.
Happy to be back for
episode 2.
Part 2. Because they're sticking with Claude and TikTok.
Yeah. Next week might be a different story. So.
Thanks again, Rafael, and thank you for watching Storytellers
Cafecito break.
See you on the next one.